Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of The Collector, and hey, thanks for watching. And this time we will be looking at 10 games on the amazing Super Nintendo that you do not want to miss in the holiday seasons. And I know this episode is kind of late and I wish it was done in time, but sadly that was not the case. I don't know about you, but when I think of holidays, automatically an epic adventure comes to mind, as those summer and end of year holidays were the only ones that provided enough time for us to actually go on an epic adventure. And while an epic adventure is most of the time an amazing RPG, and I could easily call these the best RPGs on the SNES, I think it does not have to be an RPG to be an epic adventure. Not necessarily. But as always, I have to say that this is not a top 10, I will not be rating the games, and they will be in no particular order. It is just a way of showing and talking about these games that I played in my childhood. And also, I do not own all these games, although I wish I would. So here are some games that you do not want to miss in the holiday seasons on the Super Nintendo. Chrono Trigger is an RPG developed and published by Square Enix in 1995. It was released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and has since been re-released on various platforms. I was a huge fan of the RPG genre before this, but when my friend from high school told me and showed me Chrono Trigger on an emulator on his PC, I was amazed. This was the era of me getting my first PC and trying out new games from the childhood I was robbed of. But to be fair, I was still only 15 at the time, so it's okay. The game did not disappoint. It quickly became one of my all-time favorites, and dare I say, it's my number one game on the Super Nintendo, and maybe of all time. The story follows Chrono as he travels through time to prevent a global disaster. Along the way, he meets a diverse group of characters who join him on his journey. The plot is complex and engaging, with multiple endings depending on the player's choices. One of the things that sets Chrono Trigger apart from other RPG is its innovative battle system. The game introduces the active battle system, which allows players to input commands for their characters in real time during combat. This adds a sense of urgency and strategy to the battles, as players must think quickly and choose the best action for their characters. The game also features a unique tech system which allows characters to combine the special ability in battles to unleash powerful combo attacks. In addition to its compelling gameplay, Chrono Trigger boasts beautiful graphics and an iconic soundtrack. The game pixel art is still impressive today, with detailed character design and colorful environments that were done by the famous Akira Toriyama of Dragon Ball. And the music composed by Yasunori Mitsuda is memorable and adds to the game's atmosphere, making it one of the best soundtracks of all time. Chrono Trigger is a must-play for any fan of the RPG genre. Its innovative gameplay, engaging story, and beautiful presentation makes it a timeless classic and an epic adventure, and for that, this is one of those games that you do not want to miss on the SNES. And as I said, it is not always about being an RPG to be an epic adventure, and I consider Super Mario World to be just that. An epic adventure that I remember fondly to this day. My first interaction with this game was when my neighbors brought the Super Nintendo to our house, and of course I was not allowed to play it as I had older brothers. I did, however, had the NES, and I was used to playing the original Mario, but I never even played Super Mario 3 at this point, so you can imagine my admiration for this game when all I wanted to do was just stay there and just watch my neighbors play with my brothers. I also remember when they accidentally deleted the save file of my neighbor's brother, and then they went crazy trying to reach the exact same point he was at. Ah, great times. In Super Mario World, Players control Mario as he travels through the Dinosaur Island to rescue Princess Peach from Bowser and the Koopalings. The game features a vast overworld with multiple paths and secrets to discover, as well as a variety of levels with different themes and challenges. One of the new features introduced in Super Mario World is the ability for Mario to ride on the back of his trusty dinosaur companion Yoshi, who has the ability to eat enemies and use different color shells to gain new abilities. Super Mario World is known for its tight controls and challenging but fair gameplay. The game is filled with a variety of enemies and obstacles, as well as power-ups like the Super Mushroom and the Fire Flower. The levels are well designed and have a good balance of exploration and action. The game also introduces the Cape Feather, which allows Mario to fly and glide through levels, which might be one of the best power-ups in video game history. Super Mario World boasts vibrant graphics and catchy music. The game's colorful and delighted pixel art holds up to this day. This is just an epic adventure, and it's one of those games you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. EarthBound, known as Mother 2 in Japan, is a role-playing game developed and published by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1994. The game is known for its unique settings, quirky characters, and unconventional gameplay elements. I played this game a bit later in my life when I was in my 20s, and at this point I was a big advocate of watching YouTube content and I was hearing about it from my favorite YouTubers. But I was holding out on looking at any gameplay as I wanted to play an original copy of it on the real SNES. When I found out that that was not going to happen, I started playing it on my computer, and the story and adventure I was immersed in was such an epic proportion that I went ahead and downloaded the game guide in the PDF format and went and printed it as I just wanted to have it in my hands. I adore this game and I'm sure many of you do, but this was also in a time when I was exploring different possibilities with my life, and it just made me think differently about life and choices. The game follows the story of Ness, a young boy with psychic powers, as he travels across a strange and surreal world to defeat the evil alien Gigas. Along the way, Ness meets a variety of eccentric characters and battle bizarre enemies ranging from giant piranhas to possessed appliances and all kind of other crazy enemies. One of the things that sets EarthBound apart from other RPGs is its settings. The game takes place in a modern day world, with Ness and his friends using baseball bats and yo-yos as weapons and traveling by bus and taxi. The game's humor and character designs are also unconventional, with many of the characters and enemies having a distinctive and humorous appearance. In addition to its unique settings and characters, EarthBound features solid gameplay. The game uses a turn-based battle system, and players can use a variety of psychic powers and items to defeat enemies. The game also has a number of RPG's staples such as leveling up, learning new abilities, and finding hidden items. This is just the most epic adventures of all time that you will ever go on, and for that is one of those games you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. Donkey Kong Country is a platforming game developed by Rare and published by Nintendo. The game is known for its innovative graphics, challenging gameplay, and memorable music. I remember playing this one on the Game Boy Advance, as I just thought, well, it's the same game. The Game Boy Advance is basically a portable SNES, right? Wrong. I could not have been more wrong, and the true way of experience this trilogy is on the Super Nintendo, where it belongs. I do, however, have fond memories, as it was in a time when I had my first girlfriend. This was the time when everyone was using Yahoo Messenger for online communication, and I was showing her this game on the GBA emulator as a way of courting her. The game follows the story of Donkey Kong and his psychic Diddy Kong. As they travel across Donkey Kong Island, to recover their stolen board of bananas from the evil King Carol and his Kremlin minions. The game features a variety of levels with different themes and challenges, as well as a number of power-ups and collectibles to find. One of the things that sets Donkey Kong apart from other platforming games is its innovative use of pre-rendered graphics. The game's 3D models were rendered and then turned into 2D sprites, giving the game a distinctive visual style. The graphics are still impressive today, and the game's details, environments, and characters are a testament to the capabilities of the SNES. This game looks gorgeous and its controls are tight and responsive, and the levels are well designed and require precise timing and navigation. The game's music, composed by David Wise, is iconic and adds to the game's atmosphere. This game is a quest, an amazing quest that you will embark on and will make you stop at nothing until you get those bananas back, and for that this is truly an epic adventure that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. Secret of Mana is a role-playing game developed and published by Square Enix for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1993. The game is known for its real-time combat system, cooperative multiplayer, and memorable music. As a kid, I remember spending countless hours playing this game with my brother, and it holds a special place in my memory as a result. This game has a real-time combat system that sets it apart from other games. This added a sense of urgency and strategy to the battles, and I remember the thrill of trying to outmaneuver my enemies and come up with the best tactics on the fly. Rather than using a turn-based system, the game allows players to input commands for their characters in real time during combat. The game also features a cooperative multiplayer mode, allowing up to 3 players to play together and control different characters. Secret of Mana features beautiful graphics and iconic soundtrack. The game's pixel art is colorful and detailed, and the music composed by Hiroki Kikuta is memorable and adds to the game's atmosphere, and I can still hum the main theme to this day. Playing Secret of Mana was an unforgettable experience for me, filled with excitement, strategy, and friendship. It is a game that holds a special place in my heart and is one that I will always look back on with fond memories, and for that, this is one of those epic adventures that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. And Mega Man X is an action platformer game developed and published by Capcom for the Super Nintendo in '93. As a kid, when I first saw that Mega Man was on the Super Nintendo in a whole new formula, I literally just wee my pants. I mean, the original Mega Man formula was so good, I never would have thought that it could be made even better in such a way. This is the first in the series, and for me it holds a special place as this is an epic adventure not only for me but for Mega Man as well. He made a leap of faith, trying to reinvent himself, and it worked so good. In Mega Man X, players control X, a new and more advanced version of the original Mega Man character, as he battles against a group of rogue robots known as the Mavericks. The game features a variety of stages, each with its own unique theme and sets of challenges, as well as a number of boss battles against powerful Mavericks. One of the things that sets Mega Man X apart from other action platforming is its fast-paced gameplay. The game features tight control and a variety of weapons and ability for X to use in combat. The levels are well designed and require quick reflexes and precise movement to navigate. The boss battles in particular are memorable and challenging, requiring players to learn the patterns and weaknesses of each Maverick to defeat them. Mega Man X has impressive graphics and an iconic soundtrack. The game's pixel art is colorful and detailed, and the music composed by Setsuyo Yamamoto and Makoto Tomozawa is memorable and adds to the game atmosphere, and for that, this is one of those epic adventures that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. Super Mario RPG The Legend of the Seven Star is a role-playing game developed by Square and published by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1996. As a kid, I remember being captivated by this game blend of classic Super Mario elements and RPG gameplay. But it is not as a kid when I played it. That happened in my 20s after I discovered EarthBound and the beauty of SNES RPGs, and then I started playing through them, and oh boy, I am happy I did. In Super Mario RPG, players control Mario as he sets out on a quest to defeat the evil Smithy and restore peace to the Mushroom Kingdom. Along the way, a variety of characters join Mario, including Princess Peach, freaking Bowser, and even a talking robot puppet named Gino. I just couldn't believe how Bowser was now on my side. Amazing. The game features a variety of stages, each with its own unique theme and sets of challenges, as well as a number of memorable boss battles against iconic foes. I remember I was playing this one on my laptop at work. I was doing the work, don't get me wrong, but when there was a break I would always have my SNES emulator on the side and I would pull it out to continue my search of saving the Mushroom Kingdom from the evil Smithy. One of the things that sets Super Mario RPGs apart from other RPGs is its blend of classical Super Mario elements and RPG gameplay. The gameplay features turn-based combat, with players choosing commands for their characters in battle, but also includes platforming elements and special attacks that require timed button inputs. The game's environments and characters are also instantly recognizable to fans of the Super Mario series, and the game's humor and story are a delight, and for that this is an epic adventure, and it's one of those games that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. And Mario All-Star is a compilation of 4 classic Super Mario games developed and published by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in '93. The collection includes Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. The Lost Level, known as Super Mario Bros. 2 in Japan, Super Mario Bros. 2, the fake version that we got in the West but became a staple of the franchise, and the characters used in this game are now staples of the franchise and are used in all other games, and Super Mario Bros. 3. And dare I say, some of the copies also have Super Mario World included, which is insane if you think about it, but I will only be talking about the other ones as I talked about this one already. One of the highlights of Mario All-Star is the inclusion of Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Level, a version of Super Mario Bros. 2 that was originally released only in Japan. The game is known for its increased difficulty and introduces new obstacles and enemies, making it a challenging but rewarding experience for seasoned Mario players. Super Mario Bros. 2 and Super Mario Bros. 3 are also classic entries in the series, and it's great to have them all included in this collection. As a longtime fan of Super Mario series, I was excited to find out that Mario All-Star existed on the SNES. The collection brings together some of the best platforming games of all time, and it's a great way to experience the evolution of the series. Each game has been updated with enhanced graphics and sound, making them look and sound better than ever, and in a way making them the HD versions of the originals. Like I said, going on an epic adventure does not mean an RPG necessarily. It just means something that will give you countless hours of fun and will let you immerse yourself in it. And this is exactly what the Mario games do. I mean, yes, you can finish them quick now, but back then it was a real challenge and you just had to try again and again. The beautiful thing about this compilation was that now it saved your progress from the level you last played, so it was a bit easier. But nonetheless, this is an epic adventure, a multiple epic adventure, and it's one of those games that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. Illusion of Gaia is an action role-playing game developed by Quintet and published by Nintendo for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in '94. This is again one of those games that I played in my 20s, and as a matter of fact, I discovered this one in my 20s while exploring the vast library of must-play RPGs on the Super Nintendo. In Illusion of Gaia, players control Will, a young boy with the ability to transform into different forms as he sets out on a quest to save the world from an ancient evil. Along the way, Will meets a diverse cast of characters, each with their own ability and personalities, and must rely on their help and his own powers to overcome the challenges that stand in his way. This game is a bit surreal, and when Will transforms for the very first time in the warrior form, that is when you realize that this game will be an epic adventure of proportions and you will have to solve the mystery that is in front of you. The game's soundtrack is so memorable, and like I said before, it will send your mind in a surreal place from where it will be very hard to escape back to reality. This is an amazing game and an epic adventure that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. And next up we have one of the most iconic RPGs of all time. I experienced this game as a kid on my emulators, but also later in my 20s while on the job. Now I know what you think. You will never hire me for anything now that you know that instead of working, all I do is play Super Nintendo games, but I was doing the work as well. I promise. For those who might be unfamiliar with the game, Final Fantasy VI followed the story of a diverse cast of characters as they fight against the Empire and the powerful being known as Kefka. The game features a non-linear narrative with players able to choose which characters they want to control and which order they want to complete the game's various scenarios in. Final Fantasy VI sets itself apart from other RPGs by its expansive casts of characters. The game features 14 playable characters, each with their own unique ability and personalities. And the character development in this game is top-notch, with each character undergoing significant growth and change over the course of the story. The graphics are just amazing, and this is pixel art at its finest, and together with the iconic soundtrack, it creates a unique atmosphere that will send you on an epic adventure, one that you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo. The holiday season is a memorable time that we can't seem to get right once in our adulthood. We are stuck chasing the feeling that we had as kids, but unfortunately that feeling is never the same. We will not stop chasing it though, and I think that one of these epic adventures is key to finding a glimpse of hope. Alright guys, so those are 10 epic adventures you do not want to miss on the Super Nintendo in the holiday seasons. Please comment and tell me what you thought about this video and what are some titles you would put on this list. I might make a follow-up video. But with that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe or at least tell a friend.